If behaviorism focused only on what we can see, what about what we cannot see, our thoughts? Can we really understand human behavior without understanding how we think, remember, and make decisions? Hi, I am Girish Kishnani, and you are watching 5-Minute Learnings. In the previous video, we explored behaviorism, the idea that psychology should focus only on observable behavior, but over time, psychologists realized something important. Humans are not just passive responders to stimuli, we think, interpret, remember, and make decisions, and ignoring these internal processes leaves the picture incomplete. This realization led to what is known as the cognitive revolution, and from it emerged cognitive psychology. Cognitive psychology is the scientific study of mental processes, how we think, perceive, remember, learn, and make decisions. Instead of ignoring the mind, this approach tries to study it scientifically. But here's the challenge: you cannot directly see a thought, so how do psychologists study the mind? They do it by studying inputs and outputs. What information comes in, how it is processed, and what behavior comes out. This is often compared to how a computer works. Information goes in, gets processed, stored, and then produces an output. In a similar way, the human mind processes information. This is called information processing. Cognitive psychology focuses on several key areas. First is perception, how we interpret sensory information. For example, two people can watch the same cricket match. One sees a player as confident, another sees the same behavior as arrogant. The situation is the same, but perception changes the meaning. Second is attention, what we choose to focus on. Think about when you're working or studying, and your phone lights up with a notification. Even if you try to ignore it, your attention shifts instantly. Your brain filters thousands of signals, but certain stimuli hijack your focus. Third is memory, how information is stored and retrieved. For example, you might forget what you studied yesterday, but remember a song from years ago perfectly. This shows that memory is not just storage, it depends on how information is encoded and reinforced. Fourth is thinking and decision-making. How do we solve problems? Why do we make irrational choices? For instance, imagine you've already spent money on a movie ticket. Even if the movie is boring, you might continue watching just because you paid for it. This is not rational, but it's common. Cognitive psychology explores the mental processes behind these actions. One important contribution of this approach is the study of cognitive biases. These are systematic errors in thinking. For example, if you see one negative comment on your social media post, you might ignore 100 positive ones and focus only on that single criticism. Your mind gives more weight to negative information. These biases show that human thinking is not always logical. Another major contribution came from researchers like Ulrich Neisserer, often called the father of cognitive psychology. He helped establish the scientific study of mental processes as a core part of psychology. Cognitive psychology also led to powerful applications. One of the most important is cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT. This approach is based on a simple idea: our thoughts influence our emotions and behavior. For example, if you think I'm going to fail, you may feel anxious and avoid trying. But if you reframe it to I can improve with effort, your behavior changes, you prepare and perform better. This made therapy more structured, practical, and evidence-based. However, cognitive psychology is not perfect. While it studies the mind scientifically, it can sometimes ignore emotional, social, and biological factors. This is why modern psychology often combines multiple approaches. So cognitive psychology raises an important question: are we in control of our thoughts, or are our thoughts shaping us? That's all for today in Psychology Basics. In the next video, we will explore another important approach, humanistic psychology, which focuses on growth, meaning, and human potential. Hope you found this video helpful. If you liked it, please give me a thumbs up, and follow or subscribe to my channel 5-Minute Learnings, and do remember to hit the bell icon to get notified of the new content. Thanks for watching.